Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to radically and rapidly healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And I want to tell you some ways in which we can revolutionize this industry, this topic and this issue forever, right? Because here's the sad truth. A lot of what they're teaching people in the industry is doing doing what they're trying to teach you against. What do I mean by that? Most people are being gaslit on this issue, right? By an industry that wants you confused, keeps you thinking it's so complicated, keeps you in therapy for years, keeps you questioning yourself, still in confusion, not healing, not seeing the truth, and making it into a more complex issue than it actually is. Hear me out, right? If someone's an expert, they can take the complexity out of something and make it very simple for you to understand. And everything that I know about narcissistic abuse, and I've studied it for years, by the way, I'm not just 5 minutes in healing and transformation. I've been a healer and coach and leader most of my life at a very high level. I've been focusing on this issue in particular in the last, say, 4 or 5 years when I understood it. But I've been working in healing modalities, transformation, leadership, peak performance, coaching for many years, right? And it took me a while to see the truth of this. But it's really not complicated when you know what it is. In fact, people are teaching, it's almost being made glamorous, narcissism right now. It's almost being made trendy. You're almost being conditioned to start following narcissists and understanding more about it and being hooked on it, which is part of the illness, is being hooked on narcissists, why they do what they do. It's so simple when you get it, but all of it is a distraction from you and your sovereignty, your self-actualization, your true purpose, your true life and what you want to experience on the planet. It's all part of the gaslighting, right? To make you obsessed with them. It keeps you in the cycle whether you're with one or not. So here's what I need you to know to break free. One, you're being gaslit by the industry. A lot of it, not all of it, some of it, right? Because let's face it, narcissism is a very predictable sequence. It comes from an entity of consciousness. It's a limited entity of consciousness, and they all act in the same way. You're going to be love bombed. You're going to be devalued, completely invalidated, and discarded either in minor or major ways, and then the whole cycle is going to repeat again. Yeah? Whether they're covert, overt, all these different strains of them don't really exist. They're just degrees of their personality. An overt one is an extrovert, and a covert one is an introvert, and they're all malignant, just the level of evil will depend on each different case, but they can all flip from covert to overt, and they tend to change how malignant they are depending on the target, right? So all this intellectualization, all this trying to solve trauma on the level of the mind, which is where it can never be solved, all this gaslighting you into what a complex issue it is and all the things you need to understand, when actually there's you could figure out a narcissist very quickly from the sequence of behavior, right? And how you feel, which is confused, which is devalued, which is a severe enmeshment, attachment to someone who's treating you badly. It's not that complicated, right? But the industry, a lot of it is making a lot of money and getting a lot of attention, and also a lot of confusion, right? Which supports the narcissist, not you, in making this such a confusing thing. And also now heroing narcissists, yeah? Because now we're kind of getting persuaded to be even more obsessed with them, even more intrigued by them. Let's look at let's try and hero them and glamorize them and make them trendy, when this is not the point. This is not what's healing you. This is not from the divine. It's the opposite team, right? What we're supposed to be doing is finding ourselves, coming into our truth, our purpose, our heart and soul, our sovereignty on the planet, right? So we're not manipulated, we're not gaslit, we're not confused, we're not obsessed and making our lives about them. We're making our lives about our true purpose, our true soul mission, like who we are, what we're about, being loving, being in our full expression and abundance on the planet. Yeah? Get off the merry-go-round, because at the moment, a lot of what is happening is just fueling the same thing. And people aren't necessarily seeing it, and they're not necessarily breaking free or waking up to it, right? Healing is about reclamation of self. That's what healing is. When you reclaim yourself, confusion ends with the truth. When you're confused, you're being abused or you're being gaslit. If you're confused, you're a smart human being, right? You know you're with a narcissist or someone with an agenda when you keep getting confused. That's the basis of gaslight, of like being gaslit. So like, guys, every part of the narcissistic abuse cycle is distracting you from your own growth and transformation on this planet. That's the truth. Anytime you're getting obsessed with them, you're hooked on, addicted to figuring them out, rather than being obsessed with like your truth, your true purpose, your true self-actualization, your true self-expression on the planet. You're being duped, right? Distracted, and actually taken away from your divine gifts, your divine purpose, and actually what you came to do, be, and have in this lifetime. Think about it. Lots of love. I'll speak to you soon.